Welcome to the Tonight Show. Thanks for joining us. Introducing peaceful protester Kelley.
Thank you, Ethan Hyatt. Hello, and welcome to my TV show on the YouTube network with a potential audience of over 2 billion people.
That's right, 2 billion people.
Coming to you live from the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, where I am peacefully protesting and advocating for the homeless here in Santa Monica and in California and the whole US of A, the whole wide world if we could do something about it. But we need to start right here where we are, right here in Santa Monica, California. We need to tell Santa Monica, you got to step up and be part of the solution. Build affordable housing. Stop criminalizing homelessness. Stop criminalizing poverty. We need to tell Santa Monica, be part of the solution and not part of the problem. We need to tell our leaders right here in Santa Monica, you need to get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative right here in Santa Monica. Use some of that airport property, 44 acres of land, to build 3,000 units of affordable housing. That's a step in the right direction, Santa Monica. And you need to stop criminalizing homelessness and poverty. Stop sending homeless people to jail for being poor and homeless. That is a shame. That ought to be a crime right there. No reason for poor people to be going to jail because they don't have a place to live. And then you tell them, fit all of your possessions in a 60-gallon bag. Whatever doesn't fit in a 60-gallon bag, you have to throw in the dumpster. They're arresting people for looking in public garbage cans for food. They're arresting people for open containers and smoking cigarettes on the sidewalk. They're just making it harder and harder for homeless people to survive right here in Santa Monica. And that's why we need to tell them that they have to be part of the solution and build affordable housing. And that's why we'll be speaking tomorrow night at the Santa Monica City Council meeting, telling those leaders if they want to stand up for equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all, they will stop criminalizing homelessness in Santa Monica. Because 30% of all the homeless population is about 30% of those people are Black Americans, and we need to stand up for the rights of people. Even though only 5% of the population of Santa Monica are Black Americans, we need to stand up for their rights right here to be able to survive, even if they are homeless. And we need to stand up for human rights right here. That's why we need to build more affordable housing and tell our leaders to work towards integrating this city instead of segregating it and pushing all the poor people out. And when you arrest poor people for being poor and homeless, that is just inhumane and cruel. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all. That's right. This Great Park and Community Housing Initiative here in Santa Monica is a proposal to use 44 acres of the Santa Monica Airport land when it is given to the city in 2028. 44 acres of that land to be used for affordable housing. 3,000 units of affordable housing for first responders, for teachers, for healthcare professionals, for seniors, for those people with mental disabilities, and for those people that are homeless. 3,000 units of affordable housing right there in Santa Monica, at the Santa Monica airport property. That would still leave over 148 acres of land for a great park. And I'll tell you, 144 acres of land, that's a pretty great park, wouldn't you say? I'd say that's plenty for a great park, that's right. And we'd still be building 3,000 units of affordable housing. Are you a Santa Monica voter? Are you a Santa Monica voter? Not a voter yet. Well, when you get to be a voter, I hope you stand up for human rights. We need to be part of the solution right here in Santa Monica and build affordable housing. Tell all your friends to get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative to use 44 acres of that airport property to build affordable housing. 3,000 units. You know, you're going to save hundreds of millions of dollars when you build 3,000 units of affordable housing in one area. And you can make a community of it. You can have first responders, teachers, healthcare professionals. You can have city employees. You can have mentally disabled, you can have seniors, and you can have homeless people too. You can get a lot of people in there with 3,000 units of housing. Be like a little Park La Brea. And I'm telling you, a lot of people like living in Park La Brea too, still. Even though it was built right after World War II to help during a housing crisis, which is what we're having right now. And when you're criminalizing homelessness, like Santa Monica is doing, when you are sending people to jail and giving people citations for sleeping and for public camping when they don't have any place to go, then you are part of the problem, Santa Monica. So we all need to tell our leaders, get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative will be on the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all. If you're able to vote. If you are a Santa Monica voter, you need to get on board. Too long we've been pushing poor people out, pushing poor people down the road. Say, hey, move down the road a little further. You're blocking, you're bad for business. Every time they want to build a new affordable housing complex here in Santa Monica, the whole neighborhood gets up in arms and says, no, not in our neighborhood. We want to help the poor people, but we want to help them somewhere else. And that's what they're doing here with this great park, the Santa Monica City Council. I ran for Santa Monica City Council in 2024. And of 10 candidates, I was the only one who even would propose using any of that great park, 192 acres, to build affordable housing. And now there's an initiative, so I am very excited about the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. So I hope you all get behind it. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is going to be on the ballot this fall in Santa Monica. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote. Oh, yes vote from us all here in Santa Monica. Should get a yes vote from us all right here in Santa Monica. Oh, it should get a yes vote from us all. Woo. Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Hey, we got some things to celebrate today. Did you know that today, the Billionaire Tax Act of California got enough, handed in signatures, so it is going to be on the ballot this fall here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 will be on the ballot in November. So we have to tell our gubernatorial candidates, everybody running for governor, they better get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 because it is a tax on the wealth of billionaires. That's right. Every billionaire is going to have a 5% wealth tax here in California. And we need to stand behind that. We need to make sure that the billionaires pay their fair share because we know they've been finding ways to get out of it. Sure, Elon Musk already left California. He said, California doesn't let me do everything just the way I want to, so I'm going to go to Texas and take advantage of the poor people down in Texas, take advantage of their poor minimum wage down there. And that's what he did. Hopefully we can tax his corporation here, whatever things he has going on. But this Billionaire Tax Act is a huge thing. It could raise hundreds of millions of dollars to help fund our healthcare system here in California and education. You know, California is ranked 20th in spending on public education. Did you know that? That's amazing to me. We are the 4th largest economy in the whole wide world, and we are ranked 20th in spending on public education. We spend about $20,000 per student here in California, and we spend over $130,000 on each incarcerated person. That is a shame, California. We need to do a better job. And that's why I am so happy that we are going to have on the ballot the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Yeah. Oh, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Oh, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Let's tell everybody who's running for governor, if you don't vote for the Billionaire Tax Act, if you don't endorse and promote the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, you don't get our vote. Katie Porter, if you don't get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, you don't get our vote. Hey, Becerra, if you don't get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, you don't get our vote. We need to tell Tom Steyer, if you don't get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, you don't get our vote. Because we have the most billionaires of any state in the whole country, and we have the most homeless people of any state in the whole country. And we want to make sure that everybody in California can have good quality health care and have a great public education. Let's celebrate you. Let's celebrate me. Let's celebrate all the different ways we can be. Let's celebrate love and life. Let's celebrate every day that we can stay away from war and strife. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Let's celebrate all our lovely girls and boys. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate love. That's right. We need to keep celebrating love, keep celebrating human rights, keep standing up for people's right to have the basic, good quality health care, keep standing up for the rights of every child to have a great public education here in California. And we need to stand up for the rights of everybody to have enough food and a decent place to live. And let's all get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. That's going to be on the ballot this fall. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, that's right. Raise taxes on them billionaires. A 5% wealth tax, that's right. It's not an income tax because we know that the billionaires often say, I didn't take a salary this year. I didn't make any money. So many billionaires have done that and gotten away without paying any taxes and federal income tax. And we need to stand up and tell them, listen, you've been doing great, billionaires. You've been making more money than anybody ever needed in 100 lifetimes. And we have poor people sleeping in the streets. We have children who aren't getting great public education. And we need to spend more on those low-income area schools. We need to spend more money on those low-income area schools until the rich people want to send their kids to those schools. Then we will know we have done enough. But until then, we need to keep raising taxes on the rich. Raise taxes on the rich. Raise taxes on the rich. Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Get behind it today, yeah. Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 in California this year. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 is going to be on the California ballot this year. Oh, I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather sit around in my underwear than screw the poor and pollute the air. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. Rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather live outside in the open air than try to keep sick people from getting health care. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you sad. Oh, mama, but being poor just ain't that bad. No, it ain't. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you cry. Oh, mama, rich or poor, we're all gonna die someday. Well, I'd rather be poor than be filthy or rich. I'd rather live in a box in the bottom of a ditch than be some stealing, cheating, lying son bitch. Rather be poor than be filthy rich. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. I'd rather walk around without a stitch than be some warmongering son of a bitch. Rather be poor than be filthy rich. Let's try it again. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. I'd rather walk around without a stitch than be some democracy overthrowing son of a bitch. I'd rather be poor than be filthy rich. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you sad. Oh, mama, but being poor just ain't that bad. No, it ain't. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you cry. Oh, mama, rich or poor, we're all gonna say goodbye someday. Hopefully not tonight. Let's put it off a little while if we can help it. Now, I don't want you to think that I think all billionaires. How are you, Jerry? How are you? What's your name? Tiffany. Good to see you, Tiffany. And what's your name? Amico. Nico.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Wade Kelley. Nice to meet you, Nico. Peace.
Really great to meet you.
Thank you. Are you from Santa Monica?
I'm from Venice.
Venice, wonderful. Just down the road there. Venice is just down the road. Unless you're talking about Venice, Italy, it's a little further. But no, Venice, I used to live in Venice in the 90s. Yeah. Now I'm a homeless person here in Santa Monica, but I have friends I can stay with because I'm charming. Because I'm fortunate, and I did live in my car here in Santa Monica for a year, and I don't recommend it. It's not easy life, and these people that have been living on the streets here have had it much, much worse than I ever did. And it's a shame, you know, the life expectancy here in the United States is around 79 years old. But if you're homeless, if you're living on the streets, your life expectancy is around 50 years old. So just by making sure that we have people in housing, we're going to expand their lifetime by a lot. And we need to help in any way we can. But you know, A lot of people say, well, Wade, you can't raise taxes on the billionaires because Trump's in power. Well, we can do it right here in California, can't we? We can show that a progressive government can make a difference in people's lives. That a progressive government, as California is supposed to be, can make sure it raises taxes on the rich. And I'm sorry, but Gavin Lose-A-Lot, you are not for this Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. You were the one who stood with Trump's ultra-conservative Supreme Court in Grants Pass versus Johnson. You said, I need more power to criminalize homelessness and clean up our streets. And that's exactly what they did in the summer of 24. The Supreme Court said, now cities and states can criminalize homelessness. And that's why last year here in Santa Monica, the arrests went up by 23%, and 72% of all the arrests in California, 72% of all of the arrests in Santa Monica were homeless human beings. Less than 1% of the population was arrested 72% of the time. They just want to push those poor people down the road and into jail. I had one of the city council members actually say to me, well, if they go to jail, at least they're not sleeping on the streets. Wouldn't they rather sleep in jail than on the streets? No, that's not a good alternative. That's not a choice that human beings should have to make. We need to build more affordable housing. We need to have more shelters instead of trying to close down shelters. And get this, Santa Monica City Council is trying to make a deal with the city of Bell so that they could rent shelter beds in the city of Bell while they close down shelter beds here, because they don't want to see poor people and homeless people in Santa Monica. They only want to see rich people. They only want to make a profit. They only want to work for the business owners. And that's a shame. We need to stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica and also in California. And that's why we have a chance to raise taxes on the billionaires here in California and tell the rest of the country, hey, look, you can raise taxes on billionaires. You can help lift people out of poverty and make things better for human beings. So we need to raise taxes on the billionaires here in California and make sure that everybody can have a good quality health care. That's right, so we just raise taxes on all the billionaires here in California, all of Elon Musk's friends. We raise taxes on the billionaires here in California and make sure that everybody can have a good public education. That's right, so we just raise taxes on all the billionaires here in California and make sure that everybody can have enough to eat. And we need to work on housing as well. I don't know if this Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 will cover housing, but we need to get behind it anyway, because we need to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Right here in California, a 5% wealth tax on the billionaires here in California. Everybody needs to get behind it and tell our gubernatorial candidates, our candidates running for governor, you better get behind that Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 or you don't get our votes. Because, I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather sit around in my underwear than screw the poor and pollute the air. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather live outside in the open air than try to keep sick people from getting health care. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you sad. Oh, mama, but being poor just ain't that bad. No, it ain't. Oh, mama, I don't want to make you cry. Oh, mama, rich or poor, we're all going to say goodbye. How you doing, Mel? Good to see you. Peace. So we all need to get behind this Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 and tell our leaders, hey, listen, let's show how California can lead the way and show progressive government can work and help lift people up and raise taxes on the billionaires. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather walk around with greasy hair than sell guns and weapons everywhere. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather walk around in the Bay Area than see homeless people everywhere. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. I'd rather be a bum than a billionaire. Ooh. And I'll keep on working at it. That's right. I haven't wanted to be rich. There's so many people that being rich is everything in this country. I mean, we got people betting on everything. We had a military, a soldier that bet on a prediction that Maduro, the leader of Venezuela, would be taken because he knew it was going to happen. So he bet $30,000 on a prediction that Maduro would be captured. And he made $400,000 on that bet, and now he's going to prison, I guess. But he's just following in the footsteps of so many of our leaders. So many of our leaders, even right here in Santa Monica, think the only thing important is making money. The only thing important here in Santa Monica is kowtowing to these business owners all around Santa Monica. We have a lot of billionaires here in Santa Monica, or a few. But we have the most billionaires of any state in the country in California. So we need to all vote for that Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. But here in Santa Monica, we need to stand up against the business owners and those who would criminalize poverty and homelessness and say, no, that's not the answer. That's not the way to lift people up, to make life better for human beings. Because that's what we're about here in the United States of America. That's what we're supposed to be about, is making life better for human beings. That's what our Constitution is about. Even though it only benefited rich white guys when it was written back in 1787. Let me get the date right. Right, 1787. When it was written back then, it only benefited rich white guys who owned property. But since the beginning of this country, there have been people working to make sure that it is more inclusive. Own property and have control over their own lives after a while. You know, it wasn't until 1924. 1924 was when the United States nationally gave Native Americans the right to vote and become citizens. 1924. That's a shame. And then the 1960s, the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, making sure that states couldn't treat people differently because of their race or their religion, their ethnicity, their beliefs, their gender, whether they're rich or poor. And we need to stand up for the rights of human beings to be able to exist, even if they don't have any money. That's right. If you're poor, you should still be able to survive in this country. And if we're not going to build enough affordable housing, we have to stop arresting people for sleeping on the beach or in a park or on the streets. If you're not going to build affordable housing, if you're going to zone out all of the rooming houses, if you're going to zone out all affordable housing like Santa Monica and so many cities have done for generations, if you're going to make pickleball courts where you're supposed to be having 122 unit of affordable housing, right over there on 4th Street, they have pickleball courts. Pickleball for the poor, because poor folks don't need no more than pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Pickleball for the poor. Homeless people don't need a front door, they need pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Oh, we're not going to let them play, but they can watch from far away and dream about that happy day when they can earn enough to pay to play pickleball. Pickleball. That's right. They started talking about building affordable housing over here before they tore down this structure here, a parking structure on 4th Street. They started talking about affordable housing there in 2018. It is 2026. And now we have pickleball courts over there. They say they're supposed to pickleball. That's the answer for the poor people. Thank you. I'll be sharing that with the homeless. Thank you. Hey, are you a Santa Monica voter?
I am indeed.
Well, would you like to sign the petition for the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative using 44 acres of... Are you Santa Monica voters?
What are you talking about? That sounds amazing. Tell me more.
Well, you can say hi to the people on the YouTube if you want. What's your name?
There's people. Greg.
Greg. Nice to meet you, Greg. Wade.
Nice to meet you.
Wade Kelley.
Excellent.
Okay, I need your, just print there, and then your address, and then your signature. So it would use 44 acres of that 192 acres of land when it's turned over to the city to build 3,000 units of affordable housing. But
Wow.
none of the Santa Monica City Council wants to use it for that at this point, and we need to encourage them strongly to make a plan to do that, because Santa Monica ain't been building any affordable housing, and we're criminalizing homelessness. That's the terrible part.
I've been here 30 years and they're like, homelessness has never happened in Santa Monica. I'm like, what are you talking about? There used to be a homeless guy who slept on the other side of a little wall from me up on 2nd Street. There have always been homeless here.
My friend
You can't demonize them as being some new invading force.
Exactly. And too many of the new leaders, even I thought after Phil Brock we were going to be moving in a better direction, but this new city council is also against building affordable housing. They don't want to use any of that 192 acres of land on the airport property to use any of it for affordable. Oh no, it has to be a great park. I said when I ran for city council in 2024, I said, if you don't use any of that land for affordable housing, how many people are you going to hire to keep the homeless from sleeping on that great park? Because people need a place to live. They need a place to sleep. And we know it's been very difficult for a lot of, my friend Ethan over here, he lived on this promenade. He slept on this promenade for about 11 years. And it wasn't easy, and he did not get good sleep. Thankfully, he has recently gotten into a place, but it took over 11 years for him to get a place to live. Anyway, it's crazy, and that's why we need to celebrate things like the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. It received enough signatures on the California ballot to get on the ballot this fall. So that's a step in the right direction. But we need Santa Monica to move forward. We need Santa Monica to stand up for human rights, because pickleball for the poor. Poor folks don't need no more than pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. Pickleball for the poor. Homeless people don't need a front door, they need pickleball. Pickleball for the poor. You know, when they tore down that structure and said we're going to start building affordable housing, all of these business owners here on this promenade said, you can't build poor people housing near our businesses. It's bad for business. Every time they try to build any affordable housing here in Santa Monica, it is met by hordes and hordes of neighborhood groups that say, we can't have it in our neighborhood. Our kids are allergic to poor people. That's what they say. They just don't want to be part of the solution. We want to help the poor, but we want to help them somewhere else. That's why we need to speak up. How often is your city going to get 192 acres of land given to it? Come on. And to use none of that for affordable housing? I met with the firefighters when I ran for city council in 24. They said about 1% of the firefighters Santa Monica firefighters live in Santa Monica. Isn't that, I mean, how can that be? When you have wildfires, you need more of your first responders in your area. There's no reason that we don't have more people that work in Santa Monica, living in Santa Monica. It's bad for the environment, and it's also, if we're serious about a climate change, a climate crisis, that means it's going to be getting hotter and hotter. And they say if it's going to get hotter and hotter, you need more people to live on the coast next to the ocean, because the air quality is going to be better and the air temperature is going to be better for human beings. And if you're concerned about environment, you're concerned about the environment for human beings. So we all need to speak up. Thank you, Greg. Nice to meet you. Peace. We all need to speak up and tell our leaders to move in a better direction. How you doing tonight? Are you voters here in Santa Monica? Okay, thank you. How you doing? Having a good night? Oh, good. You know, I know it's hard to hear just complaining and protest, but we have to all get involved, and we have to peacefully protest. I'm going to get to this part now, because we have too many people cheering on assassins. We have too many people cheering on violence. That is wrong. You're not helping human beings when you talk about committing violence. When you compare Trump to Hitler, you are making it so, you're so wrong. Hitler was responsible for killing tens of millions of people. And of course they're fascists. Good, you can say that. But Trump has not graduated to any Hitler-like place. Trump is not even as bad as George Bush, I'll say it. Because I lived through the Iraq War here, when all of the nuclear people said there are no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and give us more time to look and see if there's anything there. There was nothing there. And we went to war, and lots of people died in that war. So we still haven't gotten to that point, but things are bad. And I'm not saying don't speak out against Trump. I'm saying don't cheer on violence. Don't cheer on assassins. Peacefully protest. So a lot of the younger people, they say the only way change will happen is through violence. No, you're wrong. You're stupid. You need to be told you're stupid. The civil rights movement in the 1960s, they practiced peaceful protest. They practiced being called names and spat upon. John Lewis, he was beaten and had broken bones and jailed and everything. Martin Luther King Jr., of course, lost his life. But they made great positive change in this country. And they stood up for peaceful protest and for human rights. And they made great things happen. We can't denigrate their great service to this country by saying, oh, we haven't gotten there yet. No, we haven't gotten to a place where there are equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. But we have come a long ways, and we need to keep moving forward, and we need to shout down hatred, racism, and violence whenever we hear it, whenever we see it. Anybody who proposes violence, they need to be shouted down and said, no, you're not part of the discussion, because violence is not part of the political discussion here in the United States. I don't care what side of which war you are on. You might have the answer that is the best answer in the world, but you don't get to commit violence against people for having a different opinion than you. The First Amendment of our Constitution says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And that's what I am doing here tonight, and that's what I hope you all do on this public promenade. Get out here and share your thoughts and your beliefs. I'm telling our leaders we have to do better right here in Santa Monica and stand up for human rights, stand up against criminalizing homelessness and poverty. And here in California, we need to stand up to tax the rich and get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. We need to keep working for a better day because we haven't gotten there yet. But we need to shout down violence and hatred whenever we see it. It's about peace. It's about love. It's about the only thing my heart needs thinking of. It's about love. It's about peace. It's about a little bit of love and peace at least. 'Cause when the peace and love are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about peace. It's about love. It's about you. It's about me. It's about you and me working towards equality. It's about me. It's about you. It's about saying Black Lives Matter too. 'Cause when you and me are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about you. It's about me. It's about hope. It's about joy. It's about bring some home to little girls and boys. It's about joy. It's about hope. It's about enough hope to keep them off the dope. 'Cause when the hope and the joy are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about joy. It's about hope. It's about you. Se trata de paz, se trata de amor. Se trata de paz y amor. Se trata de paz, se trata de amor. Se trata de paz y amor. Se trata de paz y amor. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, yeah. Evenu shalom alechem, Evenu shalom alechem, Evenu shalom alechem, Evenu shalom, shalom, shalom alechem. It's about peace, it's about love. It's about the only thing my heart needs thinking of. It's about love. It's about peace. It's about a little bit of love and peace at least. 'Cause when the peace and love are gone, you know must be moving on. It's about peace. It's about love. 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 Hey, it's all about love. All right, Nico, great to meet you. Peace.
Yes.
I'll see you out here again. Thank you. I'll see you out here again another time.
Absolutely, I love everything you said.
All right, I hope you get involved, learn about these things and get your friends involved because you're going to be taking over pretty soon, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you guys need to work towards a better day, and I know that Trump is a fascist. Trump is basically a con man who didn't think he didn't think he was going to win, but he just always says, yes, I got it. He doesn't care. He's just a flim-flam con man who has too much power. But we're going to get through him. But we need the rest of our people to stand up and show that progressive government can actually work in this country. It's been done before. Look at the history. We've been through worse times. We're going to get through this time and get out there and peacefully protest. Nice to meet you, Nico. Peace. Thank you. You have a great night. That's right. We need to keep getting involved, but don't give up. Don't get lost in the sea of despair. That's right. Like John Lewis said, do not get lost in the sea of despair. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, of a week, of a month, or a year. Our struggle is the struggle of a lifetime. Never ever be afraid to make some noise, to get in some good trouble, some necessary trouble. And he was talking about peaceful protest. He was talking about standing up for justice, even though you get beat down, even though you're going to suffer from speaking out. You need to keep standing up and keep voting. Keep using your voices. Keep talking back. Keep talking back. You got to keep on doing the thing. You know what I mean? That's all we can do is just keep on keeping on, keep on getting up, even when people, hey, nobody's been giving you guys any rough time lately, I hope. It's been pretty peaceful. That is great. We got to keep on. I got a little buzz going here, don't I? Not a real buzz, but it's... Keep on getting up. Keep on speaking out. Keep on singing. Peace and love is what it's all about. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. Keep on lifting up. Keep on, lend a helping hand. We can't solve every problem, but we can try to understand. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. Don't get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic, and you know someday we'll get there. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. know we're on our way. And dream of a better day. Oh, we ain't there yet, but you know we're on our way. That's right. Keep moving forward. Keep getting up. Keep speaking out. Keep peacefully protesting and working towards a better day. And hopefully we will make progress here in Santa Monica, here in California. We will show that that progressive government can help lift people up, can help lift people out of poverty. It's a great day because today they handed in enough signatures for the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. That's right. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. That's right. That's going to be on the ballot this fall. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. And California can show the rest of the country, look, we can raise taxes on billionaires. We don't have to wait for Trump to be out of office. We can stand up and get some things done in this fourth largest economy of the whole wide world, right here. We don't have to wait for the rest of the country. I've had a lot of people say, well, I'm all for taxing billionaires, but why should California have to do it by itself? Why don't we, the whole country? We're not going to get it done, the rest of the country right now. Bro, I'm talking about the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. It got enough signatures today to go on the ballot in November. So it's a 5% wealth tax for billionaires in the state of California. So that means that 5% wealth tax for billionaires will be used for health care here in California and for making sure that we have a better public education system and also for food and other programs for the poor. So we can raise taxes on the billionaires and make sure that poor people can survive and thrive right here in California. We can make a difference here in California. Our living in California, the land of peace and love. Living in California, place the whole world's dreaming of. Living in California, everything's mostly okay. Living in California, another beautiful sunshine day. Don't let the Trump get you in a slump. We'll get rid of his hump, we're gonna be all right. We're in the land of surf and sand, movie stars, electric cars, and it's a beautiful Santa Monica night. We're living in California with people of all kinds. Living in California, sure out a little bit out of our minds. Ooh, living in California, things could be a whole lot worse. Living in California, rest of the country's moving in reverse. Ooh, living in California, everything's mostly alright. Living in California, having fun on the promenade tonight. Ooh. Now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great things about California. I was born here, a long time ago. There's a lot of great things going on in California. We're the second most diverse state in the whole country, behind Hawaii. We got people from different backgrounds, different races, different religions, different ethnicities, different beliefs, different genders, all living together in virtual harmony. But everybody knows there's some things we need to be working on. California, we have the most billionaires of any state in the whole country, and we have the most homeless people of any state in the whole country. We can do better than that. That ought to be a crime. And that's why I am so happy, because as I said before, today here in California, they have collected enough signatures and sent them in so that the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 will be on the ballot this fall. That is amazing, California. That's a wonderful step in the right direction. Everybody should celebrate the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. The Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 right here in California. Oh, that's great. We need to tell all of our gubernatorial candidates to get behind that Billionaire Tax Act. If you don't get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 here in California, we can't vote for you. It's just that simple. That's right. Tell them loud and clear. We want to stand up and make sure that the billionaires pay their fair share, at least here in California. Because life can be better right here, and we can stand up and show the rest of the country, this is how you do it. This is how you raise taxes on the rich and lift people out of poverty. But we have to do both of those things. We can't just raise taxes on the rich and leave everything the way it is. We got to lift people out of poverty and lift people up and make sure people have housing, food to eat, health care, and a good public education. We're living in California with people of all kinds. Living in California, show out a little bit out of our minds. Woo! Living in California, things could be a whole lot worse. Living in California, rest of the country's moving in reverse. Woo! Living in California, the place the whole world's dreaming of. Living in California, go out and spread some peace and love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Hey, hey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day because we haven't gotten there yet. We can still keep working towards equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all. We can make sure that poor people have a place to live, even right next to our public beaches. We got 800 miles of public beaches here in California, and mostly rich white people living next to our public beaches. I'm sorry, it's the truth. A lot of people say, you don't need to talk about race anymore. We already got past race. No, we haven't. Still 10 times more likely for a young black man to go to prison in California than a young white man. Black Americans make up only 5% of the population in California, and they are over 30% of the population of homeless human beings. We got to keep lifting people up. We got to keep making things more equal. We have to keep standing up for human rights, the right of everybody to have the basics. No reason for poor people to be sleeping in the streets in this richest, most powerful country in the whole wide world. In this fourth largest economy of California. That's right, if California was a country, it would be the fourth largest economy of the whole wide world. And Santa Monica is a very wealthy city, right here in Los Angeles County. We can do great things. They've been done before. Don't let anybody tell you different. Our government has done things. Some people say, well, whenever you have a program run by the government, it's not going to be any good. Whenever you have a program, whenever the government gets involved, it's not going to be any good. Well, there was a thing passed in 1935 called Social Security. It gave a safety net to those people, Americans, when they got to be a certain age, when they got to be a little old, little long in the tooth, to give them a safety net to help them through the rest of their lives. I'm on that little safety net right now because I got a little long in the tooth. I'm 66 years old. That's right. And I am on Social Security. I get a little bit of that actor's equity pension. I don't know if I'm going to get any more kinds of pension. But I live in poverty, and I'm all right with that. I make about $12,000 a year, and I'm okay with that. But I signed up for low-income housing for seniors here in Santa Monica. I don't know how many people are on that list. I'm going to ask the head of the housing at a meeting next week. How many people are on your senior housing list here in Santa Monica? Low-income senior housing list. Because I know that all of the Section 8 housing is gone here in Santa Monica. And Santa Monica for generations has not built enough affordable housing. That's why they need to vote. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is going to be on the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all here in Santa Monica. That's right. This is an initiative to use 44 acres of that airport property, Santa Monica airport property, that will be given to the city of Santa Monica in 2028. Use 44 acres to build 3,000 units of affordable housing. That's a great step in the right direction. That would be almost twice as much affordable housing as Santa Monica has built in the last 20 years. That's right. Santa Monica doesn't do its part. How's it going? Joey, right? Good to see you, Joey. Peace. How you been? Yeah, getting by okay? Did you hear about the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026? They got enough signatures today to get on the ballot in November. And I'm singing my new song about the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative right here in Santa Monica. All right, Joey, good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. Peace. Anyway, am I going to bother you by singing? Should I be quiet? Okay, I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing about the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative right here in Santa Monica, because we need to get that on the ballot here in Santa Monica and make sure we build affordable housing for people right here in Santa Monica. 3,000 units of affordable housing on 44 acres of land that will be given to the city of Santa Monica in 2028, at the end of 2028. 3,000 affordable housing units. Let me say that again. 3,000 affordable housing units on 44 acres of land, and you still have 148 acres of land for a great park. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is going to be on the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all here in Santa Monica. That's right. So we need to work on that and make sure that we get it on the ballot. Make sure that we stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. You know, because Santa Monica hasn't been doing it. It's been pushing poor people down the road for generations, saying we like to help the poor people, but we want to help them somewhere else.
How many viewers you got?
2.
2?
I don't know.
Shit.
I don't keep tracks.
Damn.
Dang. They're excited about these things, though. So, are you Santa Monica voters?
No, sir.
Not Santa Monica voter?
Not
Are
yet.
are you California voters? Or you're not a voter yet?
Not yet.
Are you a Santa Monica voter? Are you a Santa Monica voter?
What's the organization that you're a part of? I live in Brentwood, so not technically.
Okay, I'm Wade Kelley, and I'm the organization. I'm also on the Measure GS Resident Oversight Committee here in Santa Monica. It's an oversight committee for the GS fund, which is a tax on all property sold over $8 million.
That sounds important, bro.
No, not too. We haven't done anything really. We haven't built any affordable housing yet here in Santa
You ever
Monica.
hoop over at like the park?
I hoop over at YMCA, and I hoop pretty well.
Okay.
For 66 years old. Yeah, I played today. That's where I got this little thing. Got a little elbow.
Yeah, he's a hooper.
I'm a hooper. You guys are hoopers?
Yeah,
Come on
sometimes.
over to the 6th Street Santa Monica Y.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, sometimes we can have some good games there, some good pickup games. Why? Where do you guys play?
Like the parks over here. Or
Oh,
Mar
Reed
Vista
Park?
Yeah, or Mar Vista Park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How is that? Reed Park? Is it rough or is it good? Is it easy to get in the game?
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
We usually get in no problem. Some days it's kind of busy.
Well, I'll check it out when the weather gets nice and warm.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, my name's Wade.
Appreciate you, Wade. Thank you.
What's your name?
Yosh.
Yosh, nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Stand up for equal rights, equal justice, equal opportunity for all, and stand up for the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, right here in California.
Sir, man.
Yeah, all right. Tell our leaders, if you don't get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026, we can't vote for you, because we need to raise taxes on billionaires right here in California. That is a step in the right direction. But let me get back to that. I'm going to sing it one more time about the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative, because I want you all to sing along with me. Tomorrow night, I'm going to go to the Santa Monica City Council meeting, and I'm going to tell these Santa Monica City Council members that they need to stand up for this Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. Because when I ran for office back in 2024, I was the only candidate out of 10 to even propose to use some of that Santa Monica Airport property to build some affordable housing. 192 acres of land. How often is that going to happen to the city of Santa Monica? How often is Santa Monica going to get 192 acres of land? It ain't gonna happen again in our lifetime, that's for sure. In your lifetime. It ain't gonna happen for a while, so we need to use some of that airport property to build affordable housing. And that's why we all need to get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. Is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something Everybody in Santa Monica should cheer about the great park. You know, I was just thinking, there are a small number of our first responders who live in Santa Monica. I don't know if these gentlemen, if these police officers or policemen live here in Santa Monica, but a small portion of our first responders live in the city of Santa Monica. We need to have more affordable housing in Santa Monica, and we also should make it a requirement for many of our first responders to live in this city if they are able and if they have the housing available for them. But right now, I met with the Santa Monica Fire Department back in 2024, and they said about 1% of the firefighters here in Santa Monica live in Santa Monica. That is a shame. That's why this Great Park and Community Housing Initiative, building 3,000 units of affordable housing, are greatly needed and would be a great benefit to the city of Santa Monica if we could make sure that more of our first responders and teachers and city employees and even homeless people can have a little more housing here in Santa Monica. We can show other cities around California this is the way we need to work. This is the way we need to move to build affordable housing so we can help end this housing crisis, this homelessness crisis. The Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is coming to Santa Monica this year. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is something that everybody in Santa Monica should hear about. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative is going to be on the ballot this fall. Oh, the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all here in Santa Monica. Should get a yes vote from us all. Oh, the Great Park and Santa Monica Community Housing Initiative should get a yes vote from us all. There ain't too much to ask. So let's keep working at it. Keep working towards a better day. I hope everybody's all right. I hope that things are okay over there. You know, we keep moving forward, keep doing the best we can, keep peacefully protesting. We need to stand up against those who would promote violence. We need to stand up against those who promote hatred and violence to get things done. Don't cheer on assassins. Don't, you people that are saying, oh, that Trump assassination attempt, it was all staged. It was all staged. There are people saying that. Tell those people they're stupid, okay? Tell them they're not part of the debate. Because if you tell them to go back to talking about how the moon landing was staged or something. We don't need those kind of people as part of the discussion. You need to stand up and be adults and say, listen, we want to work past Trump, but we don't want to create violence. We don't want to promote violence. We want to promote peaceful protest and debate. And if you're working the other way, then you're working in the wrong direction. Because we need to stand up for everybody's right to have their different opinions in this country and peacefully protest. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We'll keep looking for the day when the clouds all roll away, but we better work on peace on earth down here. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace arrive? We'll keep waiting by and by for it to fall out of the sky, but we better work on peace on earth to help our children survive. Peace, oh, peace. Peace, let's stand up and work for peace. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We'll keep looking for nirvana, but I think we just might wanna work on peace on earth down here. Peace, whoa, peace. Peace, let's stand up and work for peace. When will we see that day of peace? When will that day of peace appear? We can ask the universe to get rid of this war curse, but we better work on peace on earth down here. We'll keep waiting by and by for it to fall out of the sky, but we better work on peace on earth. We better work on peace on earth. We better work on peace on earth down here. How you doing? Are you here peacefully tonight? Yes, that's what I'm doing. Great. That's right. We got to keep working towards a better day because we haven't gotten there yet. We got to keep telling our leaders to step up, do a better job, keep speaking out for peace, keep speaking out for peaceful protest, and keep shouting down racism and hatred whenever we see it, whenever we hear it. We need to stand up for those who have been used for their labor for generations and not been given their rights. We need to stand up for those people who have been living in the shadows in this country and not been given their rights because they've been used for their labor, but they haven't been given a pathway to citizenship. And we need to stand up for their rights to have a pathway to citizenship. De la Sierra Moreno, cielito lindo, vienen bajando un par de hijitos negros, cielito lindo, de contrabando. Ese lunar que tiene, cielito lindo, junto a la boca, no se lo des a nadie, cielito lindo, que a mí me toca. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. That's right, we need to tell our leaders, listen, Democrats, when you get in office after this next election in the Congress, we need you to work on passing some comprehensive immigration bills to find a pathway to citizenship for these tens of millions of people that have been left in the shadow, that have been used for their labor and not been given their rights. Because when you keep that many people out of your democracy, that makes for a bad democracy. We need to make sure that they're part of our democracy and not being used for their labor and not having any rights. Because that means some poor people, that means millions of poor people are not involved in our democracy, and we're letting more rich people take care of things. So we need to stand up. Hi, 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 hi. Canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Hi, 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 hi. Canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. This land is your land, everybody. This land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Let's make sure this land is made for you and me. Let's work to make sure this land is made for you and me. Woo! Thank you, peace. Thank you. That's right, we got to keep working towards a better day for everybody and standing up for human rights. And we also need to make it harder for people that would do crimes, that would try to assassinate people and try to hurt people with guns. We need to make it harder for them to go to get hold of weapons in this country. We don't need a mass shooting every day in this country. We need to work towards more common sense gun laws. It's been done before. Back in the 1930s, 1936, they passed the Gun Control Act here in the United States. And they outlawed things like machine guns and briefcase guns and cane guns and all sorts of gadget guns. Have a great night. And we need to do the same now. We need to make sure we don't have weapons of war. Good to see you, Abel. We don't have weapons of war on our streets. And that we make it harder for those who would intend to do something evil with a gun. We need to make it harder for them to get hold of guns. We need to make sure we have thorough background checks for everybody, and that we have red flag laws for people that are going through mental problems or domestic violence problems. And we need to make sure that we get the weapons of war off of our streets, and that we limit the number of bullets, number of munitions that magazines can hold. We can do common sense things that help people survive and help people live a little easier, and not have our children have to practice active shooter drills every day. That's a shame. We can do better. Have you killed a gun today? Have you sent a gun away? Have you helped to solve a crime before it's done? See, the gun won't even mind. It's not part of humankind. Everyone should kill a gun. Everyone should kill a gun. Have you killed a gun today? Have you put a gun away? Have you ended it before its deadly run? See, the gun won't feel no pain. It doesn't even have a brain. Everyone should kill a gun. Everyone should kill a gun today. There's more guns than people in the US of A. Guns don't feel, they don't bleed, they don't cry. Everyone should kill a gun. Now you know I'm not a fool. I know guns are just a tool. But these deadly tools have been ruling us too long. We're in the middle of a war. The enemy's inside our door. Everyone should kill a gun. Everyone should kill a gun today. It really pisses off the NRA. Guns don't feel, they don't bleed, they don't cry. Everyone should kill a gun. Everyone should kill a gun today. There's more guns than people in the US of A. Guns don't feel, they don't laugh, they don't love. Everyone should kill a gun. That's right, we can do better. We can keep moving ahead. We can keep working towards a better day for everybody here in the United States of America, here in California, here in Santa Monica, California. We can be part of the solution, help lift people up, help lift people out of poverty, help make life easier for human beings instead of trying to make it harder and harder, like so many people are doing all around Santa Monica and California and the country. As we get further and further into this technological age, we have to be making it easier for human beings. While the rich people are making more of their money off of their toys, their rich people's toys, their artificial intelligence and robots. I was talking with a few mechanical engineers today, and they said maybe in 20 years the robots will help human beings. But right now they're just housing more robots and artificial intelligence while they're making it harder for human beings to survive. And that's a shame. We got the rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents, and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents, and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people and rich people's toys. That's why it's so good that today in California, we got enough signatures to put the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026 on the ballot right here in California today. So we need to tell our leaders, we need to tell everybody running for governor and everybody running for office in the state to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act of 2026. Because we got the rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents, and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people's toys making rich people money while the poor girls and boys live in the streets. It ain't funny how they're raising all the rents, and the governments are finding ways to funnel all the money to be spent on rich people and rich people's toys. On the rich people and rich people's toys. On the rich people and rich people's toys. That's right, we can do better. We can keep moving forward. We don't have to settle for things the way they are. Keep telling your friends, keep telling your family, keep telling everybody that here in California, we can make a difference. We don't have to wait for Trump to be out of office. We can stand up for human rights right here in Santa Monica. Stop criminalizing homelessness. Start building affordable housing right here in Santa Monica. Get peace. We'll get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative here in Santa Monica. Are you guys Santa Monica voters? Are you a voter in Santa Monica? Oh, okay. I'm also taking signatures on my petition for the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative right here in Santa Monica. But we don't need to give up. We don't need to say, oh, Trump's in power, there's nothing we can do. We can keep moving forward right here in California. Keep showing that there is a difference between progressive government that lifts people out of poverty and uses government to help people make better lives for themselves, and conservative government that only is worried about making a profit. Trump's got his gold card. He wants to sell a gold card to all the rich people around the world so they can have citizenship, while we've been taking advantage of people's labor here in this country for generations and haven't given them their citizenship. We need to keep working to lift people up, keep working for freedom and a better day for everybody. We don't have to stop. We can keep working towards So let's all tell our leaders to get behind the Billionaire Tax Act in California and make a better day for everybody right here. That's a 5% wealth tax on the billionaires here in California. A 5% wealth tax. We don't have to make sure that they expose their income. You go and you find out what they own and you raise taxes on that. 5% wealth tax. And then also here in Santa Monica, we need our leaders to get behind the Great Park and Community Housing Initiative. So let's tell them all to, let's move forward. And we'll make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better. Never make it perfect, but make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better as we go. We make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better. Never make it perfect, but make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better as we go. Someone's always crying, there'll always be pain. Some need the sunshine and some need rain. The world keeps spinning, we can't slow it down, but we can help each other while it's turning around. And make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better. Never make it perfect, but make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better. Never make it perfect, but make it a little bit better as we go. Make it a little bit better as we go. That's right. Let's keep working towards a better day. Peace and love.